Well, folks, looks like we are on his radar. How are you guys all doing today? So I just want to show you guys this snippet right here because what happened, let me give you a little history. There's some things that a lot of you guys, especially that's been with my channel for a long time, we've had certain conversations on here where we got into some real major things that were going on with people personally. Like, let's just say people were dealing with certain type of social issues. And so here I am being a minister. I will come at them with what the Lord pretty much will. What the Lord would just give me. I would write things down. I write stuff down every time. Every time he sends an idea or something in my head. See that? I write stuff down all the time when he drops something in my head. Something that I might have prayed about or asked about. He'll just drop it on me and I'll just start writing it down. So anyway, the reason why I say that is because we were having conversations on here about some deep social issues that goes on. And I was just giving my take on it when you guys would ask me the question. And what happened is that in the midst of me talking about certain things, somebody threw shots at me and they made a comment. They said, oh, here you are doing all this, da 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 da. And they said, your uncle is Larry Elder and your sister is Candace Owens. I'm like, who in the world is that? Like, who are they talking about? And so by doing so, I wrote the names down. Like, I'm trying to figure out who it is they calling me. So when they called me that, I looked it up, and that was a big mistake they made because all it did was added more weapons to my arsenal is all it did. So anyway, to give you guys an idea of who Larry Elder is, and one of the first videos that I came about, it was this one right here. Check this out.
You wouldn't not acknowledge that there are some systemic issues.
Give me an example. Tell me what you think the most systemic racist issue is. What is it?
Well, I would say that because black people in many cases, were descendants of slaves, that racism as an institution, that it just, a certain amount of it just exists.
2015? Give me the most blatant racist example you can come up with right now.
I think you could probably find evidence that, in general, cops are more willing to shoot if the perpetrator is black
What's your data
than white.
What's your basis for saying that? Last year...
Well, look, I know a lot of people would say, look what's going on in Chicago.
I know what they would say.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what the facts are. 965 people were shot by cops last year and killed. 4% of them were white cops shooting unarmed blacks. In Chicago in 2011, 21 people were shot and killed by cops. In 2015, there were 7. In Chicago, which is a third black, a third white, and a third Hispanic, 70% of the homicides are black on black. About 40 per month, almost 500 per year last year in Chicago, and 75% of them are unsolved. Where is the Black Lives Matter on that? The idea that a racist white cop shooting unarmed black people is a peril to black people is BS. It's complete and total BS.
So with that being said, I did a video a while back, about a few weeks back, where I watched the documentary called Uncle Tom. If you have not seen Uncle Tom, you really need to see it. It breaks down it. Guys, y'all know I'm all for truth. It breaks down. If it's truth, it's truth. Don't try to sit here and label me and put me on no political side, right or left, whatever you want to call it. I'm just somebody that wants to know the truth that's going on with any human being, because being in Christ, I love all people. I want everybody to have the best for themselves. I don't want to hold nothing back from anybody. I would want everybody to know the truth. I would want everybody to know all the opportunities that they have before them. And in doing so, if I'm going to be a voice of reason, then I got to have my research on point to where when I present it to you guys, you know that I'm not going to be bringing you no lies, but instead I'm going to be bringing you truth. Now, what you decide to do with that truth, that's all up to you. If you are already in a mindset oh God, no, hey, here we go. Now I don't want it. Okay, don't. Why are you watching this right now? It's not for you. It's not for you. I learned a lot through religious stuff, and I love God. I follow Christ, but I'm talking about being amongst a bunch of religious people, religious stuff, people that are doing religious things that has nothing to do with relationship with Christ. I learned a lot, and thank God that I did, because it taught me how to deal with a lot of folks in this present secular, I guess you want to call it, world, whatever like that. So what I'm saying is that there's a lot of training to come in through. And this training that I'm talking about is this. Don't just take people's word for it. Look at it yourself. Research the stuff yourself. The way that you end up finding out truth is you researching the truth yourself, not because I'm telling you. Though I wouldn't lie to you, I still would want you to go to see if I'm wrong about it. So what I'm saying is this. I went and watched a lot of Larry Elder stuff that he's talked about. I went and watched Thomas Sowell. I watched a lot of people who have history knowledge, and I went back to see if they were right about it, and they just happen to be. And I'm not going to sit there and lie about it. I like to know my history because I wasn't taught it in school, right? So anyway, guys, my point in saying on this is that this video that you guys are getting ready to see, it is from snippets of his movie, Uncle Tom. And I did a review on the movie Uncle Tom, and that movie brings so much truth and enlightenment that enriches a lot of people, black or white, just to know the history in case you don't know the real thing behind it. And it's very enlightening. So anyway, the reason why I also want to show you guys this video is because I was featured in it. Like, he literally put a segment of me talking in here, and you guys are getting ready to see it here. So watch this whole thing, and we'll go from there.
Well, my documentary, Uncle Tom, is out, and the reviews are in, and it appears to be a smash. Here's a trailer.
I focus on 3 things: belief in God, belief in myself, and my belief in the United States of America.
Being a black conservative is just natural. It's what my family raised us on: faith, family, individual responsibility, education, service to the nation, an entrepreneurial mind.
Being a business owner in America is one of the greatest privileges of being an American.
I think Black Americans should believe and uphold the ideas of constitutional inherent rights.
I always felt that if I worked hard, that I could overcome the circumstances of my life. I never felt that because I was black or I was poor or a woman that I couldn't do something.
Humans are naturally conservative. You grow up being told to work hard for what you got. You don't grow up being told you're gonna get something because you just want it. Like, you ain't gotta work for it. But Democrats, they say, hey, we give you everything for free. That ain't reality.
And already people are posting their reaction to the film. Here's one.
Uncle Tom, normally a derogatory term pointed at black conservatives, is now a feature-length film produced by Larry Elder and directed by Justin Malone. This film has a lot of different personalities, all black conservatives, people like Candace Owens, people like Brandon Tatum, people like Jesse Lee Peterson, people like Joel Patrick, people like Kingface, who we've done stuff on this channel before, people like Alan West, people like Herman Cain, and a lot more people. All of them have a common story, different story, but common in the sense that they love America and that hard work and not blaming people for your problems and not being a victim is a common thread.
A major theme in the movie Uncle Tom is what the welfare state has done to devastate the black family. I argue that the welfare state has incentivized women to marry the government and has incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. Or, as economist Walter Williams, prominently featured in my film, puts it,
one devastating thing that's happening in black communities is the high illegitimacy rate. Now, but however, that has nothing to do with racial discrimination. That is, matter of fact, illegitimacy rate among black teenagers in 1918 was less than that among white teenagers in 1918. In fact, there's another big problem, the breakdown of the black family. And probably breakdown is not the proper word. It means, I should say, not forming in the first place. And this is entirely unprecedented. That is, only 40% of black kids live in two-parent families. Now, back in 1925 in Harlem, 85% of black kids lived in two-parent families. In 1870 and 1880 in cities like Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia, you found numbers like 70 to 85% of black kids living in two-parent families. Now, how do you explain that? Can you say that there was not as much racial discrimination in the United States in the late 1800s or the early 1900s? No, that doesn't cut water.
And this young man who reviewed Uncle Tom gets it.
And when it all comes down to it, it's going to come down to, like what they talked about in this movie, no family structure in the home whatsoever. I wish that they can make a law to where if you get a girl pregnant, they going to track you. You know them things they put on your ankle? That ankle bracelet going to show you going to work and showing you spending at least 3 to 4 hours with that child every day. I don't care if you and the baby mama are into it. You got to show that you there with that child 3 hours, at least 3 hours or something a day. because they make it too easy for men, especially black men. They make it too easy. We can just run off and go anywhere we want to, have all these different babies by all kind of different women, ain't got to take care of them. And, you know, especially, you know, just think you on welfare. They giving you food stamps as a black man. They giving you the phone as a black man. They giving you housing, especially if you're a player and you got multiple girls, you can just stay with any one of them when you want to. So life is easy for you. But what they don't tell you, the destruction comes in, is that child.
The movie also refutes the notion that virtually every problem can be traced directly to slavery and to Jim Crow. Thomas Sowell is prominently featured in the movie. Here is Mr. Sowell on that topic.
Certainly the black kids who are growing up today have a higher material standard of living than I had. The difference was that the schools were good when I came along. They were especially good in New York at that time, hard as that is to believe. But the kids who grew up in that same place where I lived, they will not get that same education. Now that can be blamed on somebody, but it has very little to do with what happened 100 or 200 years ago.
And here's another review from IMDb. This may be the best documentary I have ever seen. I am a professional filmmaker. This is one of, if not the most important film of the 21st century. I do not say that lightly. Everyone has to see this. It is truly life-changing. It is a film full of heart, victory, unity, truth, and true patriotism. You will never be so proud to be an American. Don't pass on it, end of quote. Now, the film starts out with and introduces you to a young contractor named Chad. Chad was a lifelong Democrat, a Christian, who was challenged by a fellow Christian to read the Democratic Party platform and the Republican Party platform. And after doing so, Chad discovered, wow, I'm a Republican. And the grief he got from friends, the grief he got from families, including from his own mom.
All that you're saying right now is what makes you part of the problem.
You said that that the reason that just as many white people are killed by police is because, well, it doesn't really mean anything because
any or more white people's killed.
I said there are more white people killed by police than black people. That's what I said.
See what you're doing right now?
What?
Putting other black people down.
So imagine the grief he got from other people when his own mom disagrees with him. Here's more from that phone call.
And the thing is, most people don't want to hear the truth. They'd rather believe a lie. And when you believe a lie, when you believe a lie,
but don't want to do anything to try to fix the problem.
When you believe a lie, things just get worse. So at least I'm willing to tell the truth about how 70% of black kids are growing up.
You tell the truth, but you don't have no.
Yes, I do. I can give you the references. 70% of black kids are growing up without a father in the home. They're being influenced by the gang members in their communities. They're being influenced by drugs. They're being influenced by schools that don't teach education. It's all about what kind of shoes you're wearing, all this other nonsense. And they don't have their fathers at home to guide them, to teach them the correct way. They don't have they're not in the church. They're not in the Bible, but they can tell you the lyrics to every Migos song. They can tell you the lyrics to every Lil Wayne song, but they can't tell you anything about scripture. And this is the environment that they're growing up in. And because they're growing up in that environment,
I see black men mentors
because they're
every day.
Because they're growing up in that environment.
I see the church bus that kind of pick up the black boys every day.
Because they're growing up in that environment, that's where you get all the gang violence and shootings and drugs. And because it's so out of control, you have to have the police there.
Wow. And here's another review from IMDb. This movie is like an alarm clock. Some people might not like what they're hearing when they watch it, but that doesn't change the fact that it is time to wake up. I applaud the courage, the genius, and the love and compassion that went into the making of this important film, end of quote. I am most pleased at how informative people found it.
It got to me, okay? It got to me. I didn't boo-hoo or anything, but I did start to well up because I understood how this has come so far and how close we were at one point to really turning a corner, and that whole thing got squandered. I'll mention that in my conservative take, the spoiler section. But yeah, a 7 for emotional impact. For the category of intangibles, I'm going to give this film a 9, mainly because of the information that it provides and information that you can't get anywhere. And it's really excellent. I leave some room at the top for it to move up, but I think a 9 is a good score. I thought I knew everything there is to know about this topic, but there is some things in here that I didn't know about.
A clean, wonderfully informative production. I was aware of some of the notions put forward in the film, but by no means whatsoever was I ready to be immersed with such factually unequivocal depth. Truly eye-opening and fantastic to see such a diverse array of characters, each with their own insights and anecdotes. A straightforward and rather in-your-face approach to demolishing the left's insistence on minority control. Superb production, cast, and motive. Regardless of your political leanings, this no-holds-barred piece definitely gets the mind racing and questioning all that we are inundated with by the media. End of quote. Back to Chad and his mom.
I'm saying that people like that who are doing the right thing, they're looked at as squares. They're not looked at as cool.
It's called acting white. And according to this gentleman, it's a real problem in the black community.
African Americans in communities where I've worked, there's been notion of acting white, which sometimes is overstated, but there's an element of truth to it where, okay, if boys are reading too much, then, well, why are you doing that? Or why are you speaking so properly? And the notion that there's some authentic way of being black, that if you're going to be black, you have to act a certain way and wear a certain kind of clothes, that has to go.
And speaking of Obama, he's prominently featured in the film. He kicked off the trailer.
Obama tore this country down. No one stood up to him. Nobody, because he was black.
Obama came into office with a great deal of hope and promise to heal the racial divide, to bring us together. Indeed, he got 70% approval rating before he set foot in office after he got elected because so many people who didn't vote for him still pulled for him. And what did he do? Race relations got worse under Obama. Why? Because every time he had a chance to say something soothing and healing, he went the other way. The Cambridge police acted stupidly. Really? If I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. I don't even know what that means. He gave a speech before the United Nations and evoked Ferguson, even though we know hands up, don't shoot was a lie. He invited Al Sharpton to the White House over 70 times. Why? Al Sharpton is arguably the most prominent race card, anti-Semitic incendiary in America. And he embraced the Black Lives Matter movement. And his AG Eric Holder said, when it comes to matters of race, quote, America is a nation of cowards, whatever the hell that means. Uncle Tom talks about the promise Obama had and how Obama fumbled that promise. I think you're really going to enjoy the film. Now, in its opening weekend, I'm happy to say that Uncle Tom generated twice the revenue that Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine did in its opening weekend. Twice the revenue. And has it gotten the attention of the major Hollywood media? Well, now be sure and see the movie Uncle Tom. Just go to uncletom.com. Tell your friends. Even better, tell your liberal friends to check out the movie. And while you're there, be the first in your hood to buy you some Uncle Tom merch. I am Larry Elder, and we've got a country to save, and I'll see you next time.
As you guys can see, that's what it was. And he gave me a lot of time on there, didn't he? That was really, really cool. So anyway, hopefully what we're doing here on this channel is definitely seem to be getting people's attention, and we're doing great things by us discussing all these different topics that we talked about here without having no fear at all of what naysayers or what anybody else might think of. But y'all, of course, y'all know I don't care what nobody think of me and what I'm doing in here. As long as it's going to be putting out truth, I'm going to continue to put out truth. I don't care which side that you feel that you are affiliated with. My whole thing, as far as my channel go, is to tell the folks that are following me and that are subscribed to me the truth, period, okay? It ain't about trying to discuss this and discuss that. And what I mean by that is trying to say somebody's being political. I say it all the time. Just because I'm talking about a human issue does not mean it's political. Just because a person in politics is talking about this issue and I'm talking about the issue, it doesn't mean that I'm being political. It means I'm talking about things that are affecting humans, which are you that are watching, right? So anyway, hopefully this can lead to something else, since we kind of seem to be on his radar right now. Maybe an interview one day. Who knows? Maybe I'll be featured on Uncle Tom Part 2. Larry Elder, yeah. Hey, look me up. I will be more than happy to be on there and to do that. We have to meet. We definitely have to meet. That'd be awesome. If you see this video, Larry Elder, I would love to get in contact with you. Anyway, folks, y'all let me know what y'all think. Wasn't that cool? See, Modern Renaissance Man's channel, we done made a little bit of headway. We done actually got Larry Elder's attention, which is really, really awesome. So with that being said, folks, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, shame on you. No, I'm just joking. Seriously though, I always tell you guys, get to know who I am before you subscribe to this channel, right? That's what I say to do. But seriously, if you have been following me for a while and you have not subscribed yet, it should have been a little red thingy down here somewhere where you could have done that, or you can wait till after this video where I'm going to say, oh, you can press right here. You will see all that right there. And then also, if you would like to donate to the channel, that's completely up to you. Thank you if you do. Thank you if you don't. But if you want to know how, the link is in the description. If you don't know how to get to the link in the description, let me know and I will send you the link in the comment section, okay? And also down there in the link in the description area is my P.O Box if you want to send gifts and things like that, okay? Besides that, folks, I'm ready to check out. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. And I hope and pray every last one of you guys are in great health. God bless you through Jesus. Hey there, folks. If you're watching this video as a premiere, the next video you're going to do, the reaction is going to be right here, okay? Go to that one if you're going right to the next reaction. Right here is the stuff that I do on my own things that you should definitely check out. It's my comedy, stuff like that, yada, 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 peanut butter. And right here is where you can go and subscribe to my channel, okay? Really appreciate it if you did. But first, you get to know me, okay? Get to know me, all right? Peace.